The other event that took place in Konrad had the headline Spread Poetry, Not Fear, which was also organized for the commemoration of the 67th anniversary of the UN adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The event was organized by the Maltese community in Luxembourg. Let's have the feature and get an insight into the event.
Good evening. My name is Antoine Cassar. I'm from the island of Malta. I've been living in Luxembourg for 8 years. Tonight's event is called Spread Poetry and Music, Not Fear. My Maltese colleagues asked me to organize a literary event, and we decided to open it also for non-Maltese to make it more interactive. And Spread Poetry, Not Fear is a Facebook page which I created 3 weeks ago, 1 week after the Paris attacks, because I created it spontaneously. It was a Friday night at 2 in the morning. I was about to go to bed, but after a full week listening to xenophobic discourse in the street and reading a lot of scaremongering on my internet feeds and so on, I felt that I needed to do something. And I believe in poetry as a form of activism, and I also believe in poetry as a form of self-therapy, and here my two beliefs have fused together. So this page, Spread Poetry Not Fear, I publish 1 or 2 poems every day with a photograph and sometimes with videos, in order to not only to flood people's feeds with poetry instead of these xenophobic messages and remarks and media manipulation. It's also a reaction against terror, and terror from the terrorists, but also from let's say certain media outlets that call themselves newspapers, but instead of publishing news, they publish things to scare people. So for example, I don't remember which pseudo newspaper it was, but they published a photograph of a ferry, one of these ferries that goes from Calais to Dover, and meters behind this ferry there was a dinghy with 5 or 6 jihadis with weapons. No? And so the sub-headline of this article, if you can call it an article, was jihadis in Calais may be planning murderous missions. That was the expression it used, murderous missions to hijack a ferry and crash it into Dover. You know? It's very. I've been to Calais. I doubt there are any jihadis camping there, and it was obviously set up to scare people, because fear is an instrument of control. People's vote is easier to influence through fear. Look at what's happening in France right now, and Donald Trump in the US is very popular right now, and they are riding a wave of fear. And so one of the main reasons why I decided to create this page on the spur of the moment was because I believe that poetry, just like music, just like art and other creative manifestations, are a way to keep us sane, to keep us calm, and to keep us human. So there are poets, Wisława Szymborska, Eliot, Pablo Neruda, and there are many examples who they have written a lot about fear and how to overcome it. And so I'm publishing some of their poetry, and also according to whatever current events there are. And this event, it's an initiative of the Maltese community in Luxembourg, but it's the first public event linked to this Facebook page, Spread Poetry Not Fear, and so everyone will have a chance to express themselves in poetry and music, whether it's their own creation or their favorite piece of work. And I see a very good crowd, and I'm looking forward to begin.
Hi, so I'm Shehzar, I'm from Bangladesh, And well, I must say that I'm very excited to see this poetry event here in Luxembourg. You know, a night dedicated to purely poetry, and that is a wonderful sort of like a manifestation of everything that is, you know, like come together to create this event. And so I am a poet myself, and I've come here to Luxembourg, and I've started a literary review called the Luxembourg Review, and we have poets from like a wide range of very established poets like Gillian Clarke, who's the Poet Laureate of Wales, you know, like giving us interviews, and Sudeep Sen, who's one of the biggest writers in India, you know, handing us interviews, and it's called the Luxembourg Review. So what we're trying to do here, what I'm trying to do with that is basically establish an online and as well as the print publicated literary review for Luxembourg. And I don't know, it's really wonderful to see this. I mean, this is not the first purely poetry event I had here at Konrad's. Last year there was Aja Monet who had come. She's a very well-renowned spoken word poet from the United States, and she had come down and given an almost sold-out performance here. So it's great to see these small things sort of establish itself, and I'm very excited to be a part of this and to see what, you know, like what more comes. You know, it's an exciting look into the future now, and I'm really looking forward to it. And hopefully, with a combination of my review, with the spoken word poetry group that I'm involved with, these, you know, combining together will sort of create a great spoken word and poetry group in Luxembourg. You know, for anybody to come and share their voices, because that's what poetry is at the end of the day. It's you sharing your story, and everybody has a story to tell, so just how you say it would be, I mean, it's so exciting for everybody to see. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Karina. I'm from Malta. Today I think this event gave me an opportunity that it was thrilling. I think the first thing that came to mind was the very fact that I was given the space to express myself as a poet. And I can feel that it empowered me as a poet, as a writer. At the same time, it also gave the opportunity to explore the venue, explore the very fact that I could be around people with the same interests, and that I could share what I feel with other people, and that as well I could listen to other people, what they say, what their experiences are. One of the very fact that I started the Luxembourg Poetry Group here when I came to Luxembourg, like last January, and I said this is a good opportunity to bring people together who have the same interests, who are interested in poetry, who want to share their writing. And I found that there is a space. At first it's yes, Luxembourg is small, but at the same time there is space. There is space for people to come together, and you can find the energies in the different people when they express their voices, when they express the way they write, and their ideas and their concepts. And in a way it's stimulating, and I think that's the word for it. It's really stimulating. So I think my message would be, yes, poetry is sharing, and poetry brings us closer. And I think that's what I wanted to do with the Luxembourg Poetry Group, and together with other poets who I'm meeting there, like Shehzar, for instance, that we're bridging, and at the same time we're empowering each other, and it gives us strength as a group, and we're becoming enablers. We're not like standing alone, like on an island writing, but we're linking things together as poets, as writers, and I think that's very important in a community. We have a Facebook page. If you type in Luxembourg Poetry Group, you can join and be informed about the upcoming events. And we're very interested to take it forward. Right now, what we're doing is creating creative exercises, sharing our poetry, etc. But we want to take it beyond that. So we're aiming to have more more experiences like tonight. We want to share our poetry with other people, and we want other people to share their poetry with us.
And